Hey guys, Grace of Red Barn Studios. One of the things that I've always promised myself that as a mother, I would make sure that I take the time to listen to my kids. Didn't know who they were yet, but I knew that I wanted to do that for them specifically. I have a 27, 24, and a 15-year-old, so I'm still doing that with my 15-year-old, even though he's almost out the door. When they come to me and I can see this is something, this isn't just fooling around, this isn't just I need to get mommy's attention, because when they come to me and they somehow in their bearing or in their words express the need to speak to me, I put down whatever I'm doing and I look them in the eye and I listen to them, because I want to hear their heart words. I want to hear the things they have to say, even though they might have been 10 or 5 or 15. I want to hear them. I want to give them that respect. So the events of the last week, I have been doing some introspection, and what I've come away with is I need to try to do my best to seriously listen to others. I do this with my children. I gladly, willingly, all the time do this with my children. I do it with my hubby. And I'm pretty sure I do it with others. But after this week, in the US, my mission really is to seriously listen. When someone speaks to me and it's different from my view, what's our common ground? What can I take away from this? So my question for you is, what are you doing? What are you listening? Are you listening to your heart? Are you listening to your intuition? Are you listening to others around you? Are you taking in the words that are being said to you? And for this particular minisode, I really dug deep. What is on my mind that I need to express? I remember back in 1998, my husband and I had taken a 3-month separation. I don't think the kids were more than 10. I don't think one of them was more than 10. So they were pretty young. And it was a great period of stress for all of us, all 4 of us at the time. And I was particularly attuned or in tune to what's surrounding my children. And I made sure that their needs were still being met, despite the upheaval between their parents. It was one of those times that, it was one of those times that threw me for a loop, because my whole world was upside down, and I didn't know what was going to happen. I really did not know. I am happy to say that in December, my hubby and I will celebrate 25 years of marriage. So whatever happened during that period, we figured out what it was for the both of us to move forward. One of the things that I've done during that 3-month separation, I knew I needed to figure out where I was. Because if I couldn't figure out where I was, emotionally, mentally, physically, if I couldn't figure that out, then we had no hope of moving forward. So I read loads and loads of self-help books. I wrote constantly in my journal. That was one of those times where my journal was filled with pages and pages and pages of my own heart words. And I moved through that process because I listened to her. I listened to what she had to say to me. I listened to the wisdom she had to impart to me. That's what this Minnesota is about. Because I want you to listen to her. Listen to the soul in you that says, no, that's not good. That maybe fall back on that just a bit. Or let's go. This is it. Full steam ahead. Let's push on. Listen to that soul speak. Be in tune to the whispers. One of the things I remember from this week is a friend said she didn't give one whit about this election that came up. She just didn't. Her focus, her complete focus was on her family. Her family of her own immediate family with her husband and children, and her extended family with her sisters and her mother and father. And I sat listening to her and thinking, I wish I could do that. I really wish I could do that. In the moment, I could not. But I thought about it more. And what I got from that is she listened. She listened to what she needed to do in this moment, or in that moment rather. She listened and she came away with, noise is out. Noise, go away. I've got my family to consider. These young babes of mine. I need to make sure we are priority. And I love that decision. I love that decision because she listened. How are you going to transform your life? It takes little minuscule steps. How are you going to begin listening? Begin listening more to your heart. How are you going to tune in to what your body needs? What your soul needs? Because deep listening is where the magic happens. It's where we bloom. Our soul blooms and carries us along on our path, our life path. Listening is about, there's a couple of ways we listen. And I've told you two of the ways already. We listen within. That means going silent and listening to what our inside tells us. You know, I'm hungry right now. That's your inside telling you, go and eat some food. And then there's the listening of what do I need here in this space here? What do I need? And then in this space, how can I bring forth all of me in my true authentic self? That's the listening within. And then there's the listen without. And listening without means the outward listening. How are you showing up for others? How are you taking in what they need, what they have to say? How are you listening to the words of others? How is that showing up for you in your life? And the third one is kind of like a compilation of the two that I've told you so far. It's listening within, listening without, and then almost like an awakening. We're focused solely on making manifest all that we know now from that in and that out. We're focused on that. And so we're able to transform our lives, transform others' lives. That's part of what philanthropy is about. Because they've done that internal message taking, and then they've looked about and they've listened. And then it's a whole listening. And then they go and do. So there's the three types of listenings: in, outwardly, and then gathering all that information to you and doing and being and seeing action stuff. The other thing I want to leave you with is I have a few things here that I want to tell you about. Listen can be a meditative state. Absolutely. Listening can be an in this moment, taking in, being aware. Definitely. And when you listen, here are some things that you can do to make it more effective, to use those skills that you're going to harness when you listen internally. Be curious. Curiosity opens the way for all manner of things to come in. Curious means go and asking a question. If you don't understand what this person is saying to you or what they mean by this thing, pull them aside, have a conversation. Listen to the words. Instead of, one of the ways we listen is we listen to what someone is saying and at the same time we're forming the words we need to say back. No, that's not listening. That is not listening. Be curious means sit down. Sit down with someone else. Hear the words they're actually saying. Internalize this so you have a better understanding of where they're coming from, and hopefully they have a better understanding of where you're coming from as well. But be curious. Go out there and look and find things to do so that you can listen better. The second one is stay informed. Go read. Read a newspaper. Don't just sit there and watch television. Go read a newspaper. Read a book. Read history. Read self-help books like I did back in 1998 to help me move forward, to help us transition into this new space we decided to take on. Stay informed. When you're informed, you get to come from a place of truth. You get to come from a place of authenticity. Stay informed. Make your own decisions. Stay informed. Go get that information. Disseminate it. And then understand how you need to move forward. The third one is allow for silence. That one's my favorite. That one is my favorite because all my introspection over the years, especially recently within the last year and a half, I know that my superpower is silence. That's my superpower. It quiet. Because I hear the words in between the words. Like when my kids come to me and they're beating around the bush to get to this point, and I'll say, so you're feeling this way, huh? And sometimes they would look at me like, how does she know that? The words in between, because I was silent. I'm allowing the silent to do the talking. The silence, rather. I'm allowing it. So allow for silence. Take a moment. Go ahead. Go sit in silence and listen to the thoughts. It might take a little while to actually tune into the thoughts if you haven't done this or you don't do this on the regular. This is what meditation is about. Sit in the silence so that you center your being and you hear the wisdom that is coming to you so that you can push it out to others. The next one is be open to possibility. Oh, open. Do you hear that word? Open. Possibility cannot come through a closed door. When you're closed, you're there. That's it. There's nothing more for you. It stop. You are stopped. Be open for all sorts of possibility, all sorts of opportunity. One of the things I tell my kids all the time is glass half full, people, glass half full. Glass is always half full. Because if I only look at the glass that's half empty, I'm only seeing the bottom. I got stuff to do. I'm rising. I'm rising. Be open to all possibility. You know, and that being open to possibility has a bit of be curious in it and a bit of stay informed in it. Be open to possibility. You never know. Your opinion might change. Your life might change. Or even better, because of your actions, someone's life might change for the good. So be open to all possibility. And the last one, which is part of what Soul Speak with Grace is about, trust your darn intuition. She doesn't get it wrong. It is the choices we make when we hear the voice. Either we sit in denial or we sit on top and we propel forward. Trust your intuition. When your gut speaks, it's for a reason. Trust that the words, the thoughts, the ideas that are coming to you from that center place, they are the words you need to hear in that moment. And sometimes you don't know, you can't figure out what to do with this information. Sit. That's when you go to that allow for silence. Trust your intuition, let it speak. I don't know what's happening. Sit in silence. Sit in silence and let that intuition come over you. Let it reign over you so that you begin to understand what it is you need and what it is that you can give all the time. So those 5: be curious, stay informed, allow for silence, be open to possibility, and trust your intuition. Go ahead, do some listening. Do some listening. And when you do that listening, take a moment, 5 minutes, 3 pages later, write your heart words. Take care.